Okay, so we're here on the project dashboard for TCC Studios, which is the Cornerstone Church. And what we're going to do is set up a service that we can live stream between 3 different churches. What we're going to do is leverage one of the features in Evmux that allows us to copy studios. And then later on, we'll create a studio that we can later reuse for other special services. So what we're going to do to get started, we're going to come down to the list of studios. And the first one that we're going to use is going to be the TCC Sunday Service Live. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just click on this option. And it's going to bring us into the studio information screen. Here we have an option to duplicate the studio. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and duplicate the studio because it has all the scenes and basic structure that we want to use for our service. But we want to leave this Sunday service studio intact for regular service. So we're going to go ahead and click on duplicate. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to duplicate this session? And we're going to say duplicate now. So now if we look here, we see we have a copy of TCC Service Live. So we're going to go ahead and give it a different title. And the title is going to be the Prophetic Miracle Healing Conference. And we're going to come down here to the description. And I'm going to put in the description for the conference. Okay, so we have all of the information entered there. And we want to go ahead and save that so that we have it listed on our listings of studios. So let's go back out to studios and double check everything. Okay, and we have that conference listed here on our list. And what we want to do is go into studio. Okay, so here we are in the studio. And one of the first things that I want to do with this one is make sure that we have our graphics for this particular conference. So I'm going to come down here to backgrounds, and I'm going to click the plus to add a background. And then I'm going to click add new. Then I'm going to click on upload new. And this is going to allow me to navigate out to where I have the document saved, and I can pull the document in that I want to show. And I'm going to click on the one for TCC conference, PNG, and click OK. And that's been added. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this image and click on show. Then the overlay that we had there, I'm going to click hide that. So it's just showing the conference graphic. So I did that on dynamic scenes. Now I'm going to come down to pro scenes and do the same thing. In pro scenes, I'm going to say add a new layer. And then I'm going to go to media files. And I see that I have the graphic for the conference in. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to go ahead and maximize this one. And what I'm going to do as well is make sure that I can go ahead and bring my timer back up to the top. Then I'm going to move the timer. I'm going to move the timer up. And then I'm going to size it down some so that it will fit nicely in the area that we have allocated for it. So if I transition my graphic over, I see the graphic for the conference, and then we have the timer, and we have the auto switch set so that once this timer has elapsed, it will switch to the main scene. Okay, so the real thing that we need to get set up is to get this scheduled so that it can go live when it's supposed to. And then we can start the process of allowing the guests to schedule it as well. So we're going to be using the guest destination feature within Evmux to facilitate that. One of the other churches, Christian United Church, is also on Evmux, so it will be very easy for them to incorporate this and schedule it on their side. The third church is not on Evmux, they're on a different platform, but we can do one of two things. We can either share the scheduled live service link with them so that they can add it to their social media pages, or the information that we send them, they can set up a free Evmux account and then schedule their destinations from there and have it go live when we go live from the Cornerstone Church. So to do this, we're going to go into Edit Destinations, and we see here that we already have imported the destinations for the Cornerstone Church. They're already here and ready to go. One thing that we're going to do is go in and edit them to make sure that they have the information that is correct for this particular service rather than their Sunday service. So one thing we want to do so that we have the options for edit destinations is click the box next to the guest destination field. So we have that turned on. So now we see at the top, it has destinations and it has hosts, 2 destination, guests, 0, because we have not designated from the guest side the destinations that they want to go to. One note is that with this setup, we can add 2 destinations per guest and a total of 6 guest destinations for this service. So I want to go ahead first and come to the first entry under host destinations. I'm going to do the drop down, and we want to come to the title, and we're going to enter the title for the conference. And then we're going to come down to our description, and we'll select all of this and enter the information for the description. So we have all of that in there. So one thing that we want to do, once we enter the title and description, we want to go ahead and click on where it says apply to all. And that will copy this information down from the Facebook listing down to the YouTube listing. So we did that for the title. Let's go ahead and do that for the description as well. Okay. So we have that in there. And the next thing we want to do is do schedule for later. Okay, so since we are setting this up ahead of time for a service that is going to take place actually on the 25th of March, we want to go ahead, like I said, click on schedule for later, and then we're going to come down to the date and time and update that. So we said that's going to be for March 25th. So we're going to go to our date picker and we're going to pick the 25th. And then click continue. And this service is going to be at 6 p.m. So 6 o'clock p.m. Then we're going to click continue. Now, one thing that we always want to do so that we have a good graphical representation on our social media sites is to select the thumbnail. And I'm going to click on select thumbnail. And again, it's going to allow me to navigate out and pick the thumbnail that is appropriate for this service. And I'm going to click the one for the conference and click OK. Okay, it's going to bring it up so that I can preview it. And if it looks good to me, I'm going to go ahead and click on crop. There we have the Facebook set up. So we want to go and do the same thing under YouTube. So I'm going to expand YouTube, and I see all of the conference information in the title and description for where we copied it down. Okay, so I want to go ahead and click on schedule for later. Under category, I'm going to go ahead and pick nonprofits and activism. So we already have the date here from when we selected it before. We also want to go ahead and select the thumbnail, and we're going to use the same thumbnail. Okay, it looks good to me, so I'm going to click on crop. We have both our YouTube and our Facebook scheduled in here. So we just want to take a second to double check and make sure that everything looks good to us. It has the right information in here. It has the right date. So we're going to go ahead and click on save. Okay, so we're finished. It saved the service. So we know that it was done because now we have this red calendar icon, and that indicates that this is scheduled for March the 25th at 6 p.m. So that is everything that we need done from the host side to schedule the service and set up the destinations that it will be going to. The next step that we're going to do is log into one of the guest churches and do the same thing for them. Now, what we have to do to make sure that they can get in is go ahead and click on this button down here for invite guests. Okay, within here, it has a link to this console, to this session that we will be going live with. Okay, so what we want to do here, you can either just copy the link and forward it to that guest, or you can email a message and link to them so that they can do what they need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then off screen, I'm going to go ahead and save it so that we can send it to our guests. Okay, here we are logged in under the account that I'm using for my church, Christians United Church. So one thing that is worth pointing out is that for this feature to work, we have to make sure that from the host side and the guest side that you're logged in under different profiles on each side. So one thing that I encountered since I managed the sites for both of these churches, if I logged in under my login on both sides, I wouldn't get the features to enter the guest destination. So again, you have to make sure that it's logged in under unique accounts, which for most users won't be an issue because you'll be setting it up for yours and then forwarding the link to somebody else. So again, here we are logged in under the account that I'm using for Christians United Church. And the first thing I want to do here is go ahead and paste in the link that I supplied so that this church can set up the guest destination. So what happens is that once you log in, it is going to bring in all of the destinations that you normally have under your account and make them available for this live stream session. Okay. So as I'm logging in this case, I'm not going to activate my microphone or my camera since I am just coming in here to set everything up. But I am going to go ahead and put in a name so that they can identify me on the host side. And I'm just going to call it Christians United Church. And then I'm going to join the broadcast. Okay, so we see me logged in as Christians United Church, and I already see the destinations for Cornerstone Church. They're already in there. I see that this has been scheduled. So what I want to do is go into the option to add destination. And it's going to default me over to the guest side because that's what side I'm operating on. Okay, so I want to add in the destination for Christians United Technology Ministry. That would be one of the ones that it goes to. And you see here where it brought over the title and description from what the host put in. If I want to make modifications to this, I can, but I cannot change anything related to the time of it because that is set by the host. Okay, so we have everything in here, and we want to go on and also add a thumbnail. So I'm going to click on the icon to add the thumbnail. I'm going to go out and pick the same thumbnail image that the host put in. Again, it's going to allow me to review it. Then I'm going to click on crop. Okay, and then I'm also going to go and I added the Facebook for Christians United Church. I also want to go and add in the YouTube for Christians United Church. Okay, and again, it gives me pretty much the same information that the host put in. So I want to verify that I have thumbnail images on both. So I have it on Facebook. And let's see, I have it on YouTube as well. So everything here looks good. So what I want to do now is click on save. So now that I'm finished here, I see now I have 4 destinations listed. I have 2 for the Cornerstone Church, is the Facebook and the YouTube. And then for Christians United, I have the Facebook and the YouTube listed as well. So that is what we need to do to set up the guest destinations. One thing that we're going to do, we're going to look back over at the host side and verify that we have all 4 destinations there as well. So here we're back on the dashboard for the Cornerstone Church, and we can already see that if we look at the listing for this conference, we see 4 destinations listed here. So if I was to go into studio, here we are in the studio, and again, we see that there are 4 destinations listed. If I come into edit destinations, we can see that there are 2 hosts and 2 guest destinations. So the guest destinations are the destinations that are listed for Christians United Church. That's the ones that I set up when I logged into the Christians United account and used the link provided by the host. So we have everything set up and ready to go. Again, the other option that we would have is that we can go to YouTube and get the link for the service and provide that to the third congregation that's going to be part of this, and they can link it in their social media. Or again, we can provide them with the stream link and allow them to set up a free Evmux account, and then they will be able to set up destinations and have them go to those destinations without having to provide all of the login information to the host.